job searching, job hunting is lonely and exhausting and discouraging because you're going to get way more no's and you're going to get yeses. You're going to get way more negative outcomes than you're going to get positive outcomes. And so because of that, you need to be working on things. And I don't mean like actively work, like laboring, but you need to be working on things or have other things in your life that are not tied to that, so that when you get a bad outcome with a job interview, it doesn't completely demolish you as a person, because it's really easy to feel that way if that's all you're doing. And I say this because both Ryan and I have experienced this.
Aloha, folks, and welcome back to Degree Free. We are your hosts, Ryan and Hannah Maruyama. On this podcast, we share fundamentals we've discovered and the mistakes we've made while self-educating, getting work, building businesses, and making money. We'll tell you how to make it happen. No degree needed.
Welcome back, everybody. As you may know, or as you may not know, we have a newsletter that goes out once a week that you definitely want to get. It has degree-free jobs, resources, courses we've found, stuff we think is cool, and then degree-free news like companies that are rolling back degree requirements and other interesting stuff. You absolutely want to get this newsletter, so do not walk over to degreefree.co/newsletter to get that and sign up.
All right, and let's get into today's episode. Today, we are going to be doing our third episode in our little mini series, Biggest Job Lies. This is number 3. You can go back and listen to number 1 and number 2. We'll link to everything in our show notes, degreefree.co/podcast, and you can find them all there. Biggest Job Lies number 3. You'll hear from us either way.
Oh, this one's rough.
Yeah, you've probably heard this a million times in interviews or in the job application process, quote unquote, you'll hear from us either way regarding whether or not you've gotten the job. They're most likely lying to you.
Yeah, they're not going to follow up with you if you didn't get it, probably.
And so the beginning of this episode is really just going to be a rant. And we are going to talk about how we can deal with it and the different things that we can do in order to hear back from them.
But first, we're just going to talk about how crappy it is.
Yeah, and this is like just so dumb. I hate this.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do in order to not be a liar is, 1, just do what you're going to say, or just
follow through.
Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Do what you said.
Yeah, do what you said.
Yeah. Do what you said, which is, yes, let me know either way. Or 2, just don't say it.
Don't say it if you're not going to do it.
Exactly. It's that simple.
It's rough. It's rough
and
to be on the receiving end of this.
I don't think that the recruiting person or the hiring manager or that human resources person, they're not doing it maliciously.
Nah, it's just overcome by events. It's low on the totem pole of tasks that you need to.
Exactly. And I mean, you didn't get the job. So not to say that you don't matter, but to them in their world,
they no longer need to talk to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they need to worry about the candidates that they did hire.
Or they're filling a new role.
And onboarding for that person. Or exactly what you said. Yeah. Filling a new role, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think it happens, like I said, maliciously, but it does happen. And I think all they have to do is just send out a 2-line boilerplate email that just says, and you could attach all the candidates. I mean, maybe you don't want to do that for privacy reasons.
That's what BCC is for, folks.
Right. But yeah, exactly. But you could just send out, here's a 2-line email that says, thanks, better luck next time.
Yeah. Like, we'll file you away for later or something.
I also don't like this because at this point in the job search, you've probably been looking for a while. If it takes 100 applications to get an interview, you're only going to hear these words once you've gotten an interview, basically, or at least done some other task other than just applying to jobs. Like you've done like a test or something and they've evaluated it and now you want to hear back either way, like an aptitude test or something, a skills test. And you're highly leveraged to the situation, or at least you've been through a lot already personally, that it's like, it's a bummer.
It's super demoralizing because the silence is worse is absolutely worse than hearing a rejection. Because you just don't know, and you're still waiting, and
Right.
it's just more of the waiting.
It is safe to say, though, that if you don't ever hear back from this company, you didn't get the job.
That is true, but like when is that?
Yeah.
Is the question, and it just leaves this big question mark, this big unknown, and now you're just like, I don't know. It's been 2 weeks, but maybe, and you're still like holding out hope too. It's the fragile bubble of hope, and you're just so tired from the job hunt, and then just the hearing nothing is just really rough.
That's not to say that these companies need to care about your feelings.
No.
And like I said, this part's just a rant. And so,
They could if they wanted to be better. If they wanted to be better at their process.
right, exactly. But they don't have to.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't matter. I mean,
I wonder what the rehire rate from people that you put that you say, we'll file you away for later. I wonder what the reach out rate is to those people again.
and that's going to be another episode. Don't worry. That is coming up on the docket, people. That is another one. And if you have been listening to these biggest job lies, number 1, number 2, and then now number 3, these are mostly my ideas. Like these are, if you can tell by
This
me
is Ryan's
talking the
series.
most, yeah, like I'm just ranting because these things bother me.
I'm just here for moral support.
Yeah, I hope that you find some value in it. And I promise we're going to get to that at the, towards the end of this. But at first, like, this just sucks.
Yeah, it does. There's just no other way to explain it. It's just the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just really, you're going through it and you're applying. You might need the money. You might just want a better job, or you just might want a different job. And you finally got that interview and you felt like you did well. And you shake that person's hand and he tells you, you'll be hearing from us either way. And then you're like, okay, like, awesome. And then a month goes by, 2 months go by. And like I said, at that point, you've got to get over it. But exactly what you said, that hope is a little,
Like a raisin in the sun.
it's just, yeah, it's like sad. You're still holding out hope because you're like, well, I didn't hear from them yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, but more than likely it's filled.
Especially if you really wanted the job too.
Or maybe not filled, but you didn't get that role.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's filled or not.
Right. But especially if you really wanted that job and you're still, but you're still doing the looking and you're still going through the motions of the other things, it does really suck because you're kind of waiting on them because you want this specific role. And so it's very discouraging.
Yeah. And so I did want to give a shout out to those hiring managers and to those recruiters that do a good job at this, because it's really not everybody. It's not every company. There are a lot of companies that do tell you if and when you've been eliminated in the process. I feel like it's getting better in a lot of ways, because in the HR department, this is at bigger companies usually, they have like HR automation processes, very similar to like marketing automation. So you can just tick the job has been filled, or you can tick the box you have not been selected for this job, and then it'll just automate emails to all the applicants that have gotten to a certain point. Right? It'll just send out the boilerplate stuff.
Sure.
But even without that automation, there are a lot of hiring managers that do this task manually, and that's amazing.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of care to take for people that you're not going to be working with.
Yeah. It just leaves a good taste in your mouth, that just the fact that they did what they said they were going to do.
Yeah. I've had a couple, I've had very few companies actually follow up with me, but the ones that do, after they turn me down, I always remember, and I'm like, oh, that was a stand-up thing to do, was to actually inform the person that they did or did not make it. Yeah. It's just solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the next thing is just kind of going over quickly, like, why do they even say this? Like, why are these words that come out of their mouths?
I think they intend to.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, they think they have every good intention to.
I think they absolutely have the intention to, or at least most people do.
In their minds, saying it too is almost doing it.
And They intend to, but then they just get busy. Especially if it's not like not an HR person that's responsible for the hiring roles, but it's actually somebody that's in the business, managing the business, and they're just looking for a junior person or whatever to come in. Like, they're busy doing other things.
They have a lot going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, alerting the candidates that didn't get the role is just not high on their priority list.
It just falls to the wayside because it's not an essential task.
And I think another thing is that largely a lot of people, I think, expect us to be expecting to hear it. I don't know if that makes sense. How do I say that better? But does that make sense? Like, they say it, oh, you'll hear from us either way, because they're expecting us to hear it come out of their mouths.
I think so. Yeah. I think I understand what you mean.
And in order for them to fulfill that unspoken expectation, they just say it in a closure type of way, instead of saying like, thank you so much for coming in. That was a great interview. Thank you so much for coming in. The receptionist will validate your parking on the way out. Oh, did you park in the building? Oh, perfect. They'll validate on the way out.
Oh, you think it's just part of the ritual knee-jerk reaction of a goodbye after an interview?
Shake your hand. Thank you. You'll hear from us either way. It's just like, I'm expecting you to say it, and therefore you say it.
Ooh, that is interesting. I think you might be right.
Yeah.
It's just part of this is what you say at the end of an interview, whether or not you're actually going to follow up.
Exactly.
I think you're right.
And I get it. Like I said, just going back to the rant real fast, like, I get why they say that, and I also get why they wouldn't follow through. It's just like asking people, when you ask people like, oh, how you doing? And then they don't answer, and they say, well, how you doing?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like
it's just a ritual.
Exactly.
That we all do.
Exactly.
We've all wordlessly agreed that this is what you say in that situation.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So now that we've kind of covered why they say it and what a bummer it is to hear it
and then not hear it,
how do we deal with it?
What can we do about it?
Exactly. And there are a few different ways that we can deal with it. And the first one is going to be follow up. And it seems simple. And it's like kind of like a no shit, Sherlock type of.
It's like, duh. Yeah.
Exactly. We talk about it all the time, but following up is huge. And all you really have to do is just have a few template emails ready to go. And it can just be like one for the next day after the interview, formal follow-up a week after the interview, maybe another one a week after that. And then if you don't hear anything a few weeks after that, it could just be like, well, keep me in mind for any other open positions. Mm-hmm. And at least that way there's a couple of things there. You've now given them a chance to respond to you, at least. You've given them a chance to respond to you, and for them to tell you that you haven't received the role, or that you have, or that they need more information, or whatever. So you've made their life a lot easier. Put yourself back in front of them, because they might have a candidate list. They might have interviewed 20 people for the role, and they've only have one opening. That means they have 19 other people to email, and then on top of it, they're doing all the regular work duties. They're busy. They might have forgot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit to have to do.
And so this is just a quick touch point that you can put yourself in front of them and just remind them, hey, I applied. I'm still interested in the role. Thank you for your time. Do you need anything else from me? I'm still interested in the role. Okay, never mind. I'll call like a month later. Thanks for your time. Keep me in mind for other roles.
I think too, of this list, a well-placed thank you. People can rain on the thank you notes all day long, but the fact is, a lot of people don't do them because of that attitude, and it should not be glossed over the fact that if you do something that other people don't, you look different than people who do not do that thing. All it does is serve to make you stand out, right? So that's something to don't not send a thank you note because you heard someone somewhere say, oh, well, that doesn't matter. Those don't matter anymore, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that that's going to get you the job, but it is something that you can do that maybe everybody else is not doing. And why would you not want to set yourself apart from the other candidates? That's my logic on that.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like with thank you notes specifically, kind of continuing on your tangent, the thank you notes are actually almost expected nowadays. And it's so simple to send one because, and I guess this is something, maybe this is a whole other episode of like how to execute thank you notes well. But when I hear thank you notes, I always think of a handwritten thank you note. And that's not really...
No, it's an email, people.
It's an email. Exactly.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Exactly. But in my head, when I hear of a thank you note,
yeah, mine too. It's a handwritten. It's a paper good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so maybe more accurately, at least for like dumb people like me, like calling it a thank you email.
Yeah.
Because that makes more sense to me in the verbiage.
It's very clear.
Yeah. Right. Whereas like, man, I don't know if you ever like you have like, I don't know if people do this anymore, but if you ever get like birthday money from grandma, you know, she sends you like $5 in an envelope and then you're expected to send you a thank you note, but that's like handwritten.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God, I'm not going to freaking do that. Like, I mean, like I will, but I hate it. Right. Or like when you're having a baby's first birthday or whatever they do, what is that? Like gender reveals or anything where that you have a wedding.
Yeah.
Reception, anything where you have like that guest list and then they put down their address and like they're expecting a thank you note back. So then you like have to hand write like 200 of these thank you notes, however big your event
you just
is.
Don't like chores.
Yeah, exactly. But
Ryan has this phobia of chores that are assigned to him by other people, by them doing things.
Yeah. No, but
I write all the thank you notes in our house.
The thank you note is like, if we think about it as a thank you email instead, it's a lot.
It removes the barriers.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like, oh, okay. It's a thank you email.
Yeah.
It's not a thank you
It's
note.
not an actual note. Even though I will say I've sent my fair share of actual physical notes because I'm going, no one else did this.
Absolutely.
I know nobody else did it.
And that's definitely something you can do.
Yeah. And you just leave a trail of people behind you that have gotten a handwritten thank you note from you. It's like not a bad thing.
I agree with you.
But it is hard, like especially nowadays too. Like imagine you're interviewing with a recruiter on LinkedIn and then somehow this recruiter from LinkedIn ends up with a freaking paper thank you note from you and they're like, how did they get my address? And it's also really labor intensive to find sometimes the correct address because people are remote now. It's a whole thing, right? So the only sure way to get it to the person now for the most part is going to be to send an email and not to send an actual paper note.
But that's just a little aside.
Yeah.
About the thank you notes.
I'm just really passionate about thank you notes.
Yeah. And these are all quick thank you emails and a part of the whole interview process. You should be getting their emails anyway. Mm-hmm. So this should be pretty basic stuff. Mm-hmm. The next thing that we can do to kind of overcome the kind of bummer of the you'll hear from us anyway and you don't ever hear from them is to diversify. I mean this in two ways, diversifying in two different places rather. And so it'd be diversification amongst job applications and your job hunting efforts. So let's talk about that first. As we know, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, it takes 100 applications to get an interview. So you just have to keep at it. I mean, you just have to keep applying and keep applying and keep applying. Eventually, with all of those applications in, you're going to get multiple interviews. And hopefully that one interview that you did where you didn't hear back from that person doesn't really derail you that much. It doesn't affect your mental well-being or whatever. Because that's really all this is, right? I mean, that's really all
you're
this.
Just trying to stay sane.
Yeah, that's really all this affects is if like, it just affects your pride basically.
Yeah.
And your sanity.
Yeah. And your momentum too.
Right. But if you had a interview 2 weeks ago that you didn't hear back from, but then you had an interview the week after that interview and then another interview this week, it's not going to bother you quite as much because you're diversified. You've been applying to these jobs. And that one interview that it's been crickets on is just not as high of a leveraged experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's not just one of one, it's one of three.
Exactly.
So it's only 33% of how you feel about yourself for interviewing. It's not 100% of how you feel about yourself for interviewing.
And so the next thing that I meant by diversifying is diversifying your efforts in different areas of your life. So not just applying to jobs, but doing other things in other buckets.
And this is something I think we have touched on and definitely will again, but job searching, job hunting is lonely and exhausting and discouraging because you're going to get way more no's and you're going to get yeses. You're going to get way more negative outcomes than you're going to get positive outcomes. And so because of that, you need to be working on things. And I don't mean like actively work, like laboring, but you need to be working on things or have other things in your life that are not tied to that, so that when you get a bad outcome with a job interview, it doesn't completely demolish you as a person, because it's really easy to feel that way if that's all you're doing. And I say this because both Ryan and I have experienced this. When that's all you're doing and you're singularly focused, good to be focused on a goal, bad to be so focused on it that your entire self-worth is tied up in that goal and the outcome of it, because it can just torch your week or your month sometimes. And so you want to have other areas of your life that you're working on something, you're working to improve, you're working towards some sort of growth, so that you're not completely, everything about you isn't affected by whether or not you get a job.
Yeah. And I guess to make it more specific about what we're talking about here is like you can't control whether or not these companies call you back. I'm not even talking about getting a job. Like, I mean, obviously that's the end goal. This is why we're doing all of this stuff, is to get the job. But I'm just talking about getting that call back, or
after the interview.
Right.
Yeah.
Just hearing anything rather than silence out of it. I agree with everything that you said, but we can't control whether or not they tell us we've got the job or not. Like, we can't control them sending that email out and saying, "Hey, thanks for the time. Get them next time, champ."
Yeah.
Like, we can't control that. But we can control, obviously, like we talked about, we can control putting in 300 applications, right? I mean, okay, so that's diversifying the applications. But if you're putting in 300 applications and you get 0 interviews, or you get 1 interview out of that, now you're super highly leveraged to that 1 interview. And now it's been a month since that interview and you thought that you did well. The reason why you thought you did well is maybe that interviewer said that you did well, and they're like, oh, they're super excited about it, and you haven't heard anything back. One, obviously, if you're 300 applications in, maybe you got to change something up.
Yeah.
You got to change something up.
Yeah. Maybe that needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Right. Exactly. The way that you're applying, your resume, something's got to change.
Yeah.
But also, if we go and put our efforts in something else, maybe you haven't heard back from that 1 interview, but maybe you went out to the skate park and you landed that trick that you've been trying to land for the past month. And so while you still haven't heard back about that job, you did land that trick and it's an awesome day.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to even be some big, it doesn't even have to be something like that. It could be something really simple. Like you're just trying to read all the Harry Potter series. And so your goal is to read 3 chapters a day. And as long as you get those 3 chapters done, it's one other silo that you can complete, that you feel like you're making progress in something you want to do for yourself for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be a small thing. It doesn't have to be some big, your goal could be to walk 1 mile a day. Your goal could be to spend 20 minutes with your kid or your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend in the morning, and just talk to them and be intentional about your day. That's something you can be doing too.
Right. And you're just getting wins in different areas of your life.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, whether it be playing a game, video game, spending time with your family, working out, whatever it is, it's just good to diversify it in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
The last way that we can deal with this is going to be the least effective way, because we're still relying on other people. But what you could do is you could try to reiterate and encourage a date for them to follow up with you.
That's a good idea.
And so, but this is going to have to go back to when you're having the interview, especially.
It's part of that initial conversation.
And so at the end of the interview, you can save this for whether or not there's that portion of the interview where they ask you, most interviews will ask you, do you have any questions for us, or do you have any questions for me? You could ask this question now, or at the very end when you're shaking hands and, saying your goodbyes, you're closing it all out. You could say, okay, well, oh, you said that I would hear back from you. When can I expect to hear back from you? And then have them give you a date. And they'll say, oh, next Wednesday. Or they say, oh, well, you'll hear within the month on about whether or not you got it. And so the last thing that we can do is going to be the least effective, because it is going to rely on them still taking an action, which is telling you whether or not you got the job, which is the least effective. But you could try to solidify a time or a date of when you expect to hear back, or when you should be expecting to hear back by.
You're kind of getting them to opt in.
Exactly. And so there's a couple of ways that you could do it, or a couple of places in the interview where you could do it. And one of them is going to be at that, well, do you have any questions for us phase? After you've asked your smart questions that you've been thinking about, the last question that you could ask is say, oh, well,
when can I expect to hear back?
When can I expect to hear back about this? And then they'll say, oh, well, we're looking to make the decision within a month. And it's like, oh, okay, perfect. And do you let your candidates know either way whether or not you've gotten it, or do you only tell the people that go on to the next round? And then they'll clarify with you, and they'll say, we let everybody know. And then at the end, when you're saying goodbye, shaking hands, kissing babies, you can say one more time, oh, awesome. Thank you so much for the interview. This has been great. I really look forward to hearing back from you, whatever. I look forward to hearing back either way by this date.
And just reiterate. That's a really good tactic. That's a really good tactic. As far as, you're just sort of repeating that you're expecting to hear back. So I feel like that would increase their likelihood of responding to you. I feel like I would be more likely to respond to somebody who had asked me that question.
Exactly.
I would feel more accountable.
Not only that, I think the key thing here is to try to get a time frame out of them, because
then you can follow up.
Not only can you follow up, but then because it came out of their mouths,
now it's on them.
Right. Instead of saying like, you'll hear back from us either way. We'll let you know whether or not you've got the job, and just letting it go, and it just being like some ethereal, non-existent time frame. If you say, oh, when can I expect to hear back
from you?
Exactly. And then they give you a time, they're much more likely to let you know, because they said it.
Right. They agreed. Like
I said, this is the least effective, quote unquote, way, because it still relies on them taking action. Yeah. Whereas the other two, or three, I guess, if you count diversifying being two, those were all, the ball was in your court.
Right. But still, if you're going to do it, that's a good, I wonder too, if you could say, in that end, after you ask, do you have any questions for us? After you ask, when do you follow up? If they give you a time, within a month, you would just say, when is it okay for me to follow up with you if I don't hear back?
Yeah, that works too.
Because I thought that's another way too that you can give yourself, because there's a lot of second guessing too in the follow up. Sometimes you're like, is it too soon? Is it too late? Is it too soon? Am I being annoying? But if you ask and they tell you, after 2 weeks, if you haven't heard back, just shoot me an email. And now when you're not being annoying. Right.
And then also, instead of saying that, what you could do is you could just send an email, they say 2 weeks. You'll hear back within 2 weeks, instead of saying, oh, when can I follow up with? Instead of asking permission, like you just ask for forgiveness, you just follow up anyway. But at that 2 week mark, what you could say is, oh, well, this is when I heard back. So, you don't want to self-eliminate yourself from the job, but that is when you could say, well, if you've hired other candidates, well, I guess let me back up. You could say, thank you again. I'm still interested in the role if it hasn't already been filled. If it has been filled, since this is the day that you've said that I would hear back by, please keep me in mind for other roles, whatever.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. However you want to try to create a professional networking relationship, whatever, with this person.
I like that. I think that's good.
Yeah.
It covers all your bases.
Yeah. I really like doing these series. If you guys like these series, please let us know.
Tell us what the biggest job lies you've heard.
Right. Yeah. Please contact at degreefree.co, or you can hit us up on our social medias at degreefree on TikTok, at degreefreepod, pretty much everywhere else.
Ryan wants things to rant about, guys.
Yeah, I know. Well, this really grinds my gears.
This one really grinds my gear. Get your goat.
Yeah. And so hopefully there are 3 ways that we can, deal with this. And, the unfortunate thing is this is still going to happen.
Yeah, it is. But now at least you have some actionable things that you can try to mitigate it and feel a little more control over the situation. If you want to hear more from us, because why would you not? Then please go ahead and run over to degreefree.co/newsletter, and you will get a weekly email from Ryan and I straight to your inbox.
And if you guys wanted to reach out and say hi, please shoot us an email, contact at degreefree.co.
We do read them.
Yeah. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know any feedback. Let us know the biggest job lies that you've been told. Really.
We want to know. We want to hear them.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe we'll make an episode about it. That's pretty much it. If you'd like to support the podcast, please consider leaving us a review. Other than that, until next time. Aloha.